I remember years ago when I was getting serious about customer service, and I figured I said, "Hey, I need to go and get some books, some learning material on customer service because I was taking customer service seriously." And I remember going into this bookstore that was in the mall, and they had a lot of books. They had a whole section, business section, and I got a lot of books, several books on customer service, and began to dig deep and learning customer service. Well, one of those books I got was this book here called The Starbucks Experience. The Starbucks Experience. And listen, if you don't know who I am, I'm Billy Miller and I love books and I've read hundreds and hundreds of books. And I've dedicated this channel to sharing the books that have impacted my life throughout the years. So listen, most definitely check out some of my other videos. I got playlists, different books on different subjects. And this particular playlist is going to be in the playlist of books on customer service. And I saw this book, The Starbucks Experience, and I began to skim through it. And it's this man, the author, his name is Joseph Michelli. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. But he was a person, he had no ties to Starbucks. He had no connection with them, but he went on this exploration of the company for about a year and a half of just studying them, uh, watching how Starbucks do everything, because Starbucks is a well-known company worldwide, truly successful. And and he gathered the information that made them successful and put it in this book. And he put it in this book in such a way that if you're a person that's in customer service, you're in business, you're in sales, you're anything that's dealing with that requires customer service. Maybe you have a food business, maybe you have a food truck, maybe you have a clothing line, maybe you're working in retail. And during this time, I was working in a restaurant, and this book became very, very, very helpful. And during this time, I didn't read. I mean, I didn't drink coffee, so I don't really drink coffee. I used to like cold coffees like frappuccinos, but like just regular coffee, I would never go and drink that. Never liked it. And so I got this book just because I wanted to learn the customer service experience. How did I kind of improve my customer service experience from a company who's doing it well? And like I said, this man, he followed them and studied them. And I'm gonna just go through some of this the nuggets in here. If you like this book, I'll link it up in the description of this video where you can get this book. I think it's a very, very good book. Like I said, beyond whether you like Starbucks, whether you drink coffee or not. Like I said, I didn't drink coffee, and here I am reading a book about Starbucks experience. And he shared it in his book. As a matter of fact, he summed it up. This is the back of the book right here. 5 key principles. And let me read it to you. He says, "How did Starbucks turn a cup of coffee into a worldwide business phenomenon? With unique access, with unique access to Starbucks personnel and resources, Joseph isolated the 5 key leadership principles that transformed an ordinary idea into an extraordinary experience." And so those are the concepts of the book right there. Those 5 uh, principles. And man, this book is filled with nuggets. You're probably not gonna be able to see it because of the light, but I mean, this book is highlighted up. You can't, they can't get that light. It's not gonna show it, but I went through, highlighted the book, marked it up. It's filled with so many nuggets. As a matter of fact, let me just share a couple with you right here. Like I like this what he said in this book about become welcoming. And he goes through them as far as how they train their staff, the purpose, their intent, different things with uh, uh, the whole. Like I said, he went 18 months. He was with Starbucks, different Starbucks, watching how everybody worked. I'm talking about from walking in the door to exiting the building. he went through different things that I found was interesting. And for example, one of the key things about uh, being welcoming, and this is what he means by being welcoming. This is the Starbucks definition of being welcoming. He says it's an essential way to get the customer's visit off to a positive start. The foundation for producing a predictably warm and comfortable environment. So, like listen, he talks about everything. I'm talking about from the music that's playing, everything from the introduction, the welcoming, just to start off this customer's visit, right? And let me read you something in here. He says by welcoming, oh, sorry, he says Starbucks management defines be welcoming as offering everyone a sense of beholding. One of the ways they do it is by mentioning your name. And so I remember him saying like you'll go in and you'll put in an order, and a lot of the Starbucks they'll write your name on the cup, and they write your name on the cup, and so when your drink is ready, they'll call you by your name. That reminds me of this quote by Dale Carnegie. Let me put that quote on the screen. He says, "Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest or most important sound in any language." People love to hear their name. That's one of the things I learned, and you'll see as I read some of these other customer service books, book reviews. That it's important to remember people's name. I remember I shared actually in a book review I did before with a book with John Maxwell. As a matter of fact, I'll put it up here, or I'll put it in the description of this video, where that book helped me with how to remember people's names. So it's always important to remember people's names. Listen to this example. I'm gonna read out of here. I'm gonna read. You just listen. He says he's about to tell you a story about someone that he watched do this. He says barista Joy Wilson shows what is possible when staff members put their own individual style into being welcoming. And this is what she said. She says, "I'm the drive-through queen at my store. I always set out to do the best job I possibly can. One of the ways I do that is I learn people's names and drinks and the name of their dog and where the kids go to school and whatever else I can find out about." He says, Joy is serious about knowing customers' names. In fact, after work, she enters information about her customers into a spreadsheet, which she later reviews. You know, I did something similar to this when I was in customer service. I had this little black book. I wish I would have had it out here. I still have it. I don't use it now, but I still have it, that I used back during this same time that I'm talking about when I was reading this book when I was working in that restaurant. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna find it, and because one of the other books that I'm gonna share with you is where I actually got the whole idea for this little black book. I used to call it my playbook. But see how she wrote things down in a spreadsheet? I would do the same thing. I would talk with customers and I would write down their information in this little black book, something that I want to remember for the next time they come. It might have been they're here celebrating the anniversary, right? So I would write down, John and Sarah's anniversary, this date. So if I see them again, just say, oh, they came back the next year. I remember, oh, it's your anniversary. You came back. Things like that takes customer service to a whole nother level. And then another thing they talked about is being genuine, and Starbucks defines being genuine as to connect, to respond, to discover. You have to be genuine, and how can you be yourself in your customer service experience? I want to share this part with you. I thought this was interesting. This is a story in here, and it's interesting for what I'm about to tell you. So just listen. It said it is through listening to, I'm sorry, it is through listening. I'm sorry. I'm getting tongue twisted. I ain't gonna edit this out. Y'all stay with me. Stay with me. It is through this listening that baristas like Angela anticipate the needs of their customers. So Angela is one of the baristas. It says Angela recalls, she says, it was Saturday, and this poor woman who was just an emotional wreck came through. It was her first visit. Our menu can be a little intimidating, so she stared and then ordered just a plain coffee. When we asked her if she was sure she didn't want to try something else, she explained that she was confused and overwhelmed and she looked like she was about to cry. In the meantime, we had someone make a toffee nut latte. I want you to remember this because this is key. She said, in the meantime, we had someone make a toffee nut latte because who doesn't like that? So the way she said this was almost like, well, anybody, I'm gonna give her this because who doesn't like a toffee nut latte, right? She says, we said, forget the plain coffee. We made you a toffee nut latte on the house today for you to try. The lady was thrilled. She drove off and we didn't think much of it other than that we were happy to have made her happy. But the story gets better, as Angela explains. A couple of days later, we got flowers sent to our store thanking us for saving her life. Her letter explained that she had been having a really, really bad day. After she had visited our store, she had a piece of joy in her and was able to take care of her problems and even help someone else to feel better. She is now one of our regulars. So, man, he got stories like this all throughout this book. But I wanted you to remember this because as I'm reading this book, right, this is kind of the beginning of the chapter. And he began to tell different things, how they do, how they dress. I mean, he was just describing the whole atmosphere and was intentional and on purpose. So I said, you know what better way for me to go and as I'm reading the book to actually go to one of the Starbucks and see if I can witness this experience that he's teaching me in this book. And I remember going and saying, well, I don't really know what to get, but I remember reading this part right here. It says toffee nut latte. So I said, well, let me try a toffee nut latte. Because remember, I don't drink coffee. And I just don't like coffee, but it may be something that they have that I do like. I just don't know because I haven't experienced it. And man, it was amazing. It was interesting. As I walked into the Starbucks, they were executing, they were demonstrating everything that I was reading in here. From writing my name on the cup to everything that he was saying that was intentional, how they dress, how they smile, how they remember your name, all of that. And sure enough, I got to order that toffee nut latte. And I remember the man said, do you want some toffee nut sprinkles? I said, yeah, put some sprinkles on there. Look, I'm whispering because for some reason that didn't sound masculine to me. I always joke about that. I look around like, yeah, let me get that toffee nut latte. Put some toffee nut sprinkles on there. And it was good. And I liked it. And if I ever go and get a hot coffee from Starbucks, that's what I would get. The toffee nut latte. I still do that to this day. Even though I'm still not a big coffee drinker, but if I want to drink a coffee, I know what to get. And I learned that from this book. And this book helped me to excel in customer service. And I became dominant in customer service to the point where I got awards for it. Uh, that company that I was with, I won every award that they had to offer, except for one. That's the manager of the year, and that's only because I wasn't there long enough. But as far as I became the employee of the year. I became the overall company's employee of the year. Why? Because I took the time to study customer service books, and though that was years have passed, and I've become great at customer service. I've mastered it. Listen, I'm considered a customer service guru. I can teach it. I can write a book on it. But even with that said, still to this day, I'm still reading books on customer service. Why? Because continual learning is how you're going to excel. So whether it's customer service, whether it's sales, whether it's whatever craft that you're in, make sure you have continual learning. If you're in customer service, you need to have continual learning. And I encourage you to start by getting this book. Click the link in the description of this video. And listen, it's an affiliate link. So if you do click that, if you decide to get it, use my affiliate link and you'll get me a cup of coffee. How fitting is that? Because we talk about Starbucks experience. You buy the book through that link and I'll be able to get a cup of coffee from that affiliate link. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this message. Check out some of my other videos about book reviews that I've done on customer service, but just check out the whole channel because I got different subjects. It may be fitting for whatever you need. You might be looking for book ideas to read, book ideas to give, but check out my channel and look at the different book reviews. Listen, I love you. Stay up, stay blessed, and always remember that the word is your life.